Excellent. We are primed for leg number 48 of our Around the World tour. We are in Brazil. Looks like I think we're still heading eastward across Brazil before we'll loop around and head back towards the Andes. That being said, let's do it. What's up, dude? How's it going? We're doing some flying over the Amazon basin. I can show you on the map where we are. Let's suck her out. Well, in Brazil, pulling a little bit down the way. And by a little bit, it's just an hour, but that's where we're going. Zoom that back in. that off. Are you having a good weekend so far? What went on yesterday? Oh no. That's not good. Yeah, sounds like it. That's definitely not good. It's a lot of trips with the shop vac to get all the water out. Crosswind keeps pushing me. Oh, let's keep pushing me. Almost to V1 and rotate. You're up. Flaps up. So what happened? Did you have a water leak, or was it just the water getting in there from outside, or? Oh. Well, not only that, you got to be worried about mold and stuff in there now too. That's wild, man. Sorry you have to deal with that. Oh. Did you have a plumber look at the pipe that leads from the house into the main line? Sometimes you can get some like tree roots, or sometimes you'll get paper blockage that they need to just snake it out or whatever. Oh, they did? Okay. I'm happy that the limited plumber stuff I've had to do, I'm lucky because there's a past master in my lodge. It's a plumber, a current plumber right now, but also my father-in-law was for his career was a plumber. So if it's not something too serious, he can usually come over and take care of it. Do you have to work this weekend, or you get to relax a little bit? Nice. Good thing about my job is I work for UNR, which is, I'm a classified worker, so basically I'm a state worker. So I get all the holidays off, which is really nice. And after, kind of working in hotels for a while, it's kind of nice to have weekends and holidays, nights and weekends and holidays off. You doing any fun barbecuing or anything like that, or just chilling? Oh, that's a bummer, man. See, for me to have to worry about rust, it'd have to be wet out here. I know there's a buddy of mine, we like to go and like barbecue at the park. So like any of the public parks, I don't know if they have the barbecues like they do out here, but public parks, if they have the barbecue, we'll barbecue out at them a lot of times. That way, we don't have to be at anyone's house or be out and about. Plane was just giving me a warning that I was still on takeoff thrust. I didn't turn on the auto throttle. Which in a real plane would have been a problem, but here, I don't have all the failures turned on. Nice. I bet they do. I bet some of the parks out there are pretty nice. Especially the older ones that like have been a park area for like a long time. It's one of the things I hate about Vegas, like some of the parks, you'd go to it and you're like, well, you just made the park because there's no trees. Well, there's trees. Some of the parks, like there's trees, but they're like, you could tell they weren't planted that long ago. And no shade. That's what I hate, some of the parks out here is just, well, some of the newer ones, you don't have places with shade and you kind of need that. I had a weekend in Tonopah last weekend. Brought back a lot of those Steam Malay memories. Yeah. Yeah, I see Brad a couple times a year still. Chris, I don't see him anymore because since he moved up to Washington. Yeah, we had a Grand Lodge weekend last weekend in Tonopah, so we had a Grandmaster visit Friday at Tonopah Lodge, and then a Grandmaster visit in Goldfield. And then we had a Grand Lodge officer meeting that day, and then a big barbecue and party afterwards. And then we decided, we're all there, we're all drinking, having a good time, partying, and all that stuff. We're like, let's watch the Carano-Rousey fight, because that should be a good time. And yeah, 17 seconds later, we're like, well, I'm going to go to bed then. That's a sign. I was looking forward to at least somewhat of a decent fight. Yeah. My joke during the fight, after it was over, when people were complaining, I was like, 17 seconds, I could have lasted longer than that. Yeah, we had a brother bring in some ground beef, some ground elk. We had tri-tip, some bass chorizo, and then some other sausages. And then a lot of the brothers brought like cigars and stuff. If you're into that, that's kind of fun. But then also a lot of the brothers brought like a bottle of bourbon or something to share. And some of those were like $200-300 bourbons, and I was like, God damn. But it was nice to taste the good stuff and understand that it's still not worth it at that price. But no, it was a good event, and it's a good group. Because with Imlay how we had a good group, but some people would do more than others, and not everyone would pull their weight. But in that group, the Grand Lodge officer group, it's the most high functioning group of volunteers I've ever been a part of. Coco, no, I'm not playing on PS5. I'm playing on the Xbox. Nice. I don't think you can, only because I've been having problems trying to get my multiplayer to work. But if you follow, I do try to do these regularly. I'll try to get that troubleshoot after this flight, and then any future flights. Absolutely join in. It's I'm using obviously the Vision Jet. But yeah, I know. I've been I did some Google searching trying to fix it, and I tried what they said would probably be the issue, and it didn't resolve it. So I gotta dive deeper into it, but I just haven't been able to spend much time looking into what the issue is. Well, right now, I was showing it earlier, we're on flight 48, and you can see kind of by where we are. We got Mexico, Central America, Cuba, and we're right here in Brazil. So I think we're going to head this way for a couple legs, probably come around here, swing around back towards the Andes. I'm kind of just doing kind of grid pattern back and forth. until I just cut until around here, like Lake Titicaca right there, and then I'm going to cut it south. But that's a lot of flights later, so we'll figure that out. No, absolutely. Um, I was kind of the day of the fight. Actually, I didn't actually drink anything. I had a 100 milligram soda that I ended up, making a decision. I drank the whole thing, and I didn't drink any alcohol that day. I was, it was nuts. 100 milligrams was a little bit too much all at once, but I learned a valuable lesson. Or I didn't lose or learn a lesson. I just survived. I'll probably do it again. It's all about being able to if it's having a negative impact in your life, definitely, man. I mean, I get that. And that's the thing, some people can handle it and others can't. But I am proud of you, dude. 1,045 days, that's huge. See, caffeine, I love me my caffeine. I love coffee in the morning, maybe a cup or two at most, but not every day. Probably most days, but not every day. I definitely don't drink coffee like Beverly Burns used to. Right, yeah. Not just like some Mountain Dew. We were chugging that shit like it was going out of style. I can't stand Mountain Dew today. I've tried it a couple times. It's like way too sweet. I can't. I feel like I've become my parents because I'm happy with just a Diet Pepsi. I'll tell you what, I take that back. There is one Mountain Dew that I will get down on. It's the orange one, the Live Wire. Um, that one is the orange. That's my favorite. With like the original, I can't do that. The Baja Blast, I never did like it, so I just don't understand how everyone gets crazy about it. Also, the Code Red should bring back a lot of memories too. They like when we were deep in the Mountain Dew. That's when that stuff came out. Zach, he is, last time I talked to him, he is in Southern California. Um, and let me see, that's like 5 years ago, 2021. I like to try to reach out to him every once in a while. He still has the same phone number, which is helpful. But yeah, when I reach out to him, Brett and I were planning on going to a 49er game in the Bay Area at Thanksgiving weekend that year, and it was the Vikings that were coming to town. So I had sent him an invite to see if he wanted to join us, and he didn't. He decided not to. But I wanted to throw that out there to him just in case if he wanted to. Yeah, I wonder about him too. I hope he's doing well. Actually, I hope all of us are doing well, because you know what? Life is hard enough to hold animosity towards someone else. You know who called me tonight? I have to call him back tomorrow. Wasn't able to answer. Kurt Castile. He lost a lot of weight. I think he got the gastric bypass surgery, so he lost a lot of weight. Yeah, he every once in a while he reaches out and I'll talk to him. I've hung out with him a couple times when he was in town. Yeah. I don't know if you were there, but I remember there was a kidnap, one of those kidnap breakfasts that we had, where we got to his house and kidnapped him. I remember that. That was wild. I remember we called his mom before that night and told him to make sure he's wearing underwear that night, which I was grateful when we picked him up. Remember when we played floor hockey at the Vegas Lodge building on the lock-in? Yep. Right. No, I get you, man. No, I was mentioning that because I don't know. A couple years ago, 2 years ago, I went to the Grandmaster's visit at Vegas Lodge because I hadn't been in that building since I was in DeMolay, and they've put a lot of money into that building, especially that dining room. They've redone everything, even the kitchen too. Put tons of money. Oh yeah, Laser Force. Heck yeah. Those were the days. We didn't realize it then, but those were the days. little out of control. Sounds about right. I don't like going to Vegas anymore. It's changed so much since I lived there. It's like that's what kind of helps me from like not ever wanting to be there, is because it's so much different. However, as a Nevada Grand Lodge officer for Freemasonry, I do have to go. So, Grand Lodge this year is in. Oh wow, yeah. I usually, when I've gone down there recently, it's pretty much been really super focused that I go for a particular thing. I do it and then I leave. So like. Last month I went down for their Scottish Rite weekend, and pretty much that's all I did. A couple years ago, Grand Lodge was down there, so I went down there for that, but that's pretty much all I did. Except I went to a Raider game, which is cool. But yeah, I've only been there maybe 3 or 4 times since I moved away. Not very many. I'd say 4, or at least 4 that I can remember. I saw that. That broke my heart. I didn't see the official COD, but from what he's saying, they thought it was heat stroke. That's scary, man. Like, and then also with Chris's wife suddenly passing, it's like we're at that age, man. That's why it's scary. It's like Uncle Mike was not much older than us when he went. Uncle Mike was 46. Well, it's funny, like that happens, and then you think about, like, do you remember Steve Vick from up in Reno? Anyways, he's a grandfather now. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's a year older than me. And he's a grandfather. I'll tell you what, I'm glad I didn't have any kids. That sounds awful. I'm assuming you're gonna get GTA 6 when it comes out. I feel the same way. Hopefully it's all cross-play and everything, and we'll be able to do some GTA online and stuff. When are they supposed to come out? The new consoles? At the very least, I know I need to upgrade my storage. Probably my console, because I have the Series S, so I don't even have the highest functioning Xbox. I have just like the cheapo one, so I'll definitely need to upgrade that. But unfortunately, I have too many things coming on. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I have too much going on in the near future to be able to buy myself a new anything. June next month I'm going to, well, next weekend I'm going to Yerington. We have an outdoor degree. And the Grandmaster and the Grand Lodge officers and everyone's going. So I have 2 nights in Yerington I have to pay for. And then end of next month I'm going to Montana Grand Lodge. I met some of the guys from Montana at our Grand Lodge and decided I'd like to go and experience their hospitality. But, flying to Montana and staying there for 3 nights is not cheap. I doubt they'll have a new console out before right, exactly. Yeah, I'm totally going to, when I'm in Montana, I'm going to sign on and get all the meals that they're providing, because they're actually, when it comes to banquet meals at these sort of things, theirs are like very cheap compared to the going rate anywhere else that I've seen. I don't know what I'll be getting, but I think, if it sucks, then at least I'm only down $60. So if I decide to get some food later, I'm not going to feel too bad as if I paid $120. Right. But California, we're going to the California Grand Lodge in October. I'm not going to pay for any of their meals because they're like $150 at least. And I've heard from anyone that's ever gone to California, because they do all their meals at their building, it's not like a hotel or anything, that they're always shitty meals. So I'm not going to do any of their meals, especially since I have to spend 2 nights in a hotel in San Francisco. So I don't know if I can afford spending $150 on a meal. The best to look for when you're traveling like that is find even just a mediocre pizza, because even a mediocre pizza is decent. It's hard to mess up a pizza. It can be done, but it's hard. We're 43 minutes in and 34 to the top of the set. Well, this is a little bit longer than I expected. Okay. I try to keep these legs on this about 200 to 250 nautical miles, because that'll give you about an hour-ish. But some of these legs, especially in the remote Amazon like we're at now, and then also when we start doing some island hopping in the South Pacific, it's hard to get them within that parameter. Sometimes you got to make a longer leg. I think the longest single flight I did on here, on this sim, was like 7 hours. Brutal. Well, I mean, you set the autopilot and you can do other things, just check in on it, but it was from Easter Island to, I think, Santiago, Chile. You're not wrong. I keep, like, when games coming out, I keep getting close to buying them. I was really close on Crimson Desert, or whatever it is. But I don't know why I didn't get it, so I just, whatever. There are two that I can say for a fact I will be getting. I will get Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, because I had a hell of a good time playing the first one, or the original. And then I will get GTA 6. Well, and probably Madden. I do love me some Madden. It did. Like I was really intrigued by it, but the more I saw, the less I wanted it. And it looked really fun. It looked really cool, but it just, I don't know. And I say that about being complicated and everything, and I love DayZ, and that's super complicated. But yeah. But DayZ, it's like I really have to be in the mood to play that game. The Crimson Desert was the one that came, I was the closest to getting. I did play some Arma Reforger, and that's decent. Like, I like the game modes against the AI. Against real players, I'm just like DayZ, I'm just total garbage. I'd always get picked off without ever seeing who got me or who was firing on me or anything. I haven't really seen that. I have no problem with that. I had some fun with some of the Hitman games back in the day. I think, what is it, last year or whatever, when that Indiana Jones game came out, I looked at that one. When I've seen other games too, where they get good reviews, and then I like, I'm like, oh, I should look into that, and then I'm like, eh. I have the same 2 or 3 games I usually play for everything. I'm just waiting for, you know, like GTA 6, those that I'm familiar with. It's not like, as I get older, it's not necessarily that I don't have as much time to game. It's just, if I'm going to game, I want to make sure it's games that I enjoy. I don't want to waste my time on a game that's going to frustrate me or whatever. You know, I think for my last flight in this series, which is going to take a while, but when I finally get back home, I started in Reno, I'll end in Reno, I'm going to use the caps and fly over the airport, pull the handle, and then see if I can parachute onto the tarmac. If you're not familiar, the CAPS is the Cirrus airframe parachute system. So I pull this, the plane will go into autopilot and pull up to bleed speed until the giant parachute gets shot out, and basically the engine's cut off, and then you just parachute down. It's a safety system, so if you have catastrophic failure, you can pull that and it'll just parachute. The other system, which maybe I do flying into a big airport, but it's this one, which it's also a safety system for like the passengers. So if the pilot becomes incapacitated, you press this button, and it works. Both of these systems will work in the sim. So you press that button, the autopilot will take over and land the plane at the closest airport. So it'll do all the procedures of descent, approach, getting lined up, landing gear. It'll do everything and land the plane without you doing anything. I have actually pulled this once, but I was on the ground because I was trying to put the pin back in, the safety pin, but with the ribbon, but I ended up pulling that, and it just it's pretty cool. See, it's a huge parachute that pops out the top. Yeah, I forget where it comes out of, but yeah, no, it pops out the top there. Well, we're getting close to our top of descent into Manaus. I don't know why my tail number isn't showing, but it makes me look shady like a drug runner or something, especially in this part of the world.
Vertical track.
Well, we made it. Well, I'm going to shut it down. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next leg.